Welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Erin Boyle. I am located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a licensed massage therapist, yoga, Pilates instructor, and I'm really starting to develop this channel for my clientele and students. For years, I would, after a session be like, oh, here, do this, this, and this. And now I can just be like, here, come to my channel, watch this video. Um, so making everything a little bit more streamlined. But in this video, I want to address the jaw, TMJ. We are going to use just a little bit of oil, not too much. We are going to be gliding across the skin, so if you feel like you need a little bit of a glide, again, bare minimum, just a little bit of oil. So our jaw, right, TMJ, so many people when I start massaging them, if I start hitting here, I know exactly where this tension is coming from. Again, it's such an unconscious thing we do. We clench and grind when we start to focus on anything. Literally, I'll be massaging people. If I'm giving them a good deep massage, I'm clenching. It's just the way our bodies are designed. So with awareness can come change. So to focus on our jaw muscles, what I want us to do is start to open up the neck and shoulders. I do have a previous video of a nice neck release, so maybe these two in tandem, stretch out the neck, and then you can work your way up to the jaw. So if you haven't already got your neck nice and stretched out, let's just drop our chin down to our chest and then lift the chin up. So it's the leading of the chin down and up. And then if you get that breath going with it, it would be an exhalation, chin drops down. Chin goes back up. Now, when you take your head back this next time, make sure your jaw stays closed. Try not to let your lower jaw release from your upper jaw, and that will give you a deeper stretch there. We have this big layer of fascia in front of our neck. It protects those arteries, that artery that is here in our neck. All right, one more time. Head falls back again. Close that jaw. Let that fascia stretch. And bring it centered. Take your head side to side. Again, try not to, when you turn your head to the right, let that left shoulder follow behind. Deepening the stretch, you could, again, try to hold on to that fascia, push it away, right? So I want us to do one more thing here. The next time you have your head dropping over to the right, think about bringing your ear over your shoulder. Left shoulder comes behind the back. You could deepen that. Gentle pull down, maybe turn the nose. Again, we're just trying to stretch right through here. Let's make our way over. So the arm wrapping behind the back just helps to open up through that chest. All right, so we got our neck nice and loose because it's hard to relax one part of the body if the other one that is connected to still has some tension there. So again, just a minimum amount of oil. Coconut oil always works great too for the skin. Has a nice little glide there. So just the pointer finger. And what I want us to do is just along that jawline, both from the side to the bottom. And we're going to start with our pointer finger. You're going to curl the finger and our thumb. Let's kind of hook our chin here. Let's just start with the right side. You're going to push your thumb up into that jawline and work your way back. And then start. And then, of course, if you do feel a spot that feels more than likely probably right about there is where we're going to feel some tension, you could always hang out there, do a little, I like to call them like micro moves back and forth, hang out for a bit. If you haven't already, let's work that thumb along the other side. And pushing the thumb up into that jawline. And again, if there's that spot, maybe hang out, push into it just as much or as little as you'd like. So with that oil, hopefully we got that nice glide. Let's just start sliding the thumb back to the right side. And we'll alternate to the left. So with the pointer finger gliding along the side and the thumb gliding along the bottom. So I like to do just one at a time to start off with, side to side. Again, hopefully you got a good amount of glide. Feel free to do both sides. Because anytime you are massaging the face, you don't want to be stretching the skin as much as, again, you have that nice glide. All right, so now that we have both our pointer and middle finger, let's start circulating through the jaw. You have that big muscle there, that masseter muscle, that is really strong for its size. And that's a lot of times where all that tension lies, there in this masseter muscle here. Let that lower jaw go, kind of pull down. And just as much as little as you want. Maybe make some circles or just straight down. Kind of work back behind the ear. Again, one side or both. Head can fall back, pull down. Again, hopefully you still got a good amount of glide there. All right, so what feels the best to me is my peace fingers are going to hook the ear, and I'm going to start to pull down. So that muscle comes up around here. And you play with that lower jaw. As you pull down, open your mouth. That pointer finger kind of traces along the jawline. This just feels the best right here. Give that jaw a wiggle. And maybe the tips of your fingers now trace along that cheekbone. You could press up in there. Feels good. You could press in to the muscle direct. So slide out. And then you kind of find that ridge and then push back into that muscle. So the last thing here is, we clench, and you could even see it a lot of times when people are chewing. You'll see this big flexion there on that temporal muscle. That's always a good muscle to work out there as well. And circles, again, maybe up or down. I mean, there's nothing better than a good scalp massage. Actually, I want to add one more thing to it because this does feel good, is the ears. So in acupressure, you have like over, I believe, 100 points in our ears. So it's always nice to stimulate the ears. So really take the ear, tug it, move it around, move up the ear. And we're just trying to loosen up all of that fascia. So an interesting fact is your ear is the last thing that develops in utero, right? So all the skin that was along your body stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches and then ends up making the ears. So I believe that's probably why all those acupressure points are in the ear. Again, if you push here, you might feel it there, right? Not fascia is a very interesting thing to start to study if you are interested in it. All right. Whew, how does that feel? Hopefully, again, we got some loosening up of those jaw muscles. And again, just with awareness can come change. It's hard to change anything if you're not aware of it. So again, maybe notice when you are clenching or grinding.